Practice community.
Let's start our practice. We're going to come into a seated shape. Perfect. So this is a yin style yoga class. And so we will be moving through some postures that we're going to hold for a long duration of time, like maybe 3 or so minutes each. And we'll be getting into the tissues and releasing tension from the body. And the intention is just to leave here feeling really rested and restored and having everything released out of us. So let's come into a comfortable shape, and you can lengthen up through the spine and close the eyes. And if sitting cross-legged isn't comfortable for you, feel free to find another shape that's comfortable, because we are going to be here for a few moments. And as you close the eyes and connect to the breath, just notice what you can hear around you. So we're here in Bali and we can hear water rushing and wind moving past our skin and chickens in the distance. So what are the things that you hear when you slow down and get quiet and connect to your breath? And in this class, we have 3 of us here in Bali, and then we have 3 of us overseas in Singapore and the UK and Dubai. Just appreciate the fact that we can all be together practicing, even though we're apart. And as you connect to your breath, just set an intention for what you want to receive for the next hour. And I have an intention of releasing and letting go and emptying. What is your intention? And it could be totally different, or it could be the same. So before we get into our yin style stretches, we're going to do a little bit of movement, just because I find that movement can sometimes release any tension in the body. So let's take our arms up towards the sky. Just take a big stretch. And then land your right palm, lift your left arm over to the right. You got it. Yeah, either or, doesn't matter. And then lift both arms up, and we'll go the opposite way. So you can land your left palm, reach your right arm over to the left. And then we'll just move with our breath a few times. So landing the palm, lifting it up. Lifting all the way up, coming back through center, and then going the opposite way. And maybe close your eyes and just keep moving back and forth. You can almost imagine you're like grass swaying in the wind. Just moving with the wind, moving with your breath. Maybe just doing 2 more like this. And then 1 more. And then we're gonna lift both arms up and we're gonna be twisting this time. So we're gonna pivot and land your left palm and then take your right fingertips behind you and then lift all the way up and then twist the opposite way. And then again, just keep moving with the breath. So earlier before this class, we were just doing a meditation, and the meditation was about our mind being like the sky that holds the weather. And just appreciating and understanding that the weather is never permanent, right? It's always transforming, it's always passing through the sky. It can be cloudy and stormy at one moment, and it can be sunny the next. And as we allow these transitions to happen, the clouds to move through the sky, we can just appreciate that nothing is permanent, right? Life is constantly in motion. There's endings and beginnings. Part of our journey is learning how to go with the flow on those endings and beginnings. Let's do one more twist. And then we're gonna lift our arms up towards the sky. And then just drop your right earlobe down towards your right shoulder, and you can use your right palm on the side of the skull. Yeah, you got it. Nice, stretching through the neck. I was a grade 1 teacher during the pandemic, and fortunately, I actually was never in this position. I know that every school handled the pandemic really differently, but I know there were quite a few teachers that had to teach on Zoom and then also teach in real life, and a lot of people found that really stressful. I never had to do it myself, but I think it's very different when it's kids versus adults because kids are often like really needing attention and support and guidance. But if anyone does have any questions for me, you can always pop them in the chat, or you guys in real life, feel free to ask me. If anything feels uncomfortable, if anything doesn't feel quite right in your body, just let me know. Because the intention is to leave here feeling really good. We want to release tension. We want to release stress. Take one more round of breath exactly where we are. And then just lift your head all the way up through center. And then when your head balances on both shoulders, just feel the difference from right side compared to left. And then let's go the opposite way. So let's drop our left earlobe down towards the left shoulder. Take the left palm up, just drape it on the side of the skull. And just notice what's happening here. And maybe you even notice a difference between right side compared to left. So for myself, I feel this discomfort in the right side of my neck that I don't feel on the left side, and just notice. Now let's take one more round of breath where we are. And then bring your head all the way back up through center, and maybe just tuck your chin and do some little half circles. This practice is mindful let go, which is a yin style practice. So we're going to be holding our stretches for a long period of time. We're going to lift our head all the way up through center. And then just come onto your spine for the first pose that you're going to do. You're going to release all the way down. And just bring your left ankle to cross on top of your right thigh. And you could push your left palm into your left thigh. Yeah, perfect. And just draw your left toes back in space so that they're going back towards your kneecap. And then you could, if you wanted to, lift your right leg up and interlace the palms on the thigh or the shin. Just choosing the variation that works for you. And we're going to be here for just about 3 minutes. So the hips are kind of like the emotional junk drawer. They store a lot of our tension. Just allow each layer to release. Maybe as each layer releases, you discover something new. take one more round of breath in this shape. And then we're going to release our right foot and release our left foot, and then just come into the opposite side. So cross your right ankle onto your left thigh, and you can push your right palm into your right thigh, and you might stay right here. Or maybe you lift up, interlacing the palms on the thigh or the shin. So there's 3 elements of Yin Yoga. You want to find your edge. You want to stay a while. You want to commit to stillness as best you can. Let's stay here for about 5 more breaths. And then just release your left leg and release your right leg. And I want to invite you to come for a moment into just a mini Shavasana. And this is like a rebound pose. And see if you can close your eyes and just find stillness in the shape. And just notice what has moved through you. So it's like an invitation to just pause and get still and observe. Let's stay in our Shavasana for just a few more breaths. And then I'm going to invite you to bring both of your knees into your chest. And maybe just rock to one side, take a fetal shape for a moment before coming all the way up into your seated shape. Nice. So for the next posture, what I'm going to invite you to do is tuck your toes and sit your hips back on your heels. Just see how that feels. This is like a pretty intense stretch for the soles of the feet. How's that? Is that all right? Cool. Okay. If it feels like too much at any point, you can always just come down and release. If you are okay being there, we're going to distract our mind by doing something with our arms as well. So we're going to open our arms up into cactus and just take the right arm underneath the left and high five the hands. Perfect. Yeah, you got it. Beautiful. So these are eagle arms. And then you can close your eyes and soften the gaze as well. So something that's really important here is that we're getting really mindful about what is the difference in my body between discomfort and pain. And discomfort is a good thing because discomfort is bringing us to an edge of shift, right? Discomfort is often pushing us to a point where we realize we need to make a change. And so if you're feeling discomfort in your yoga practice, then that's okay. Discomfort can show up in different forms. It could be boredom, it could be distraction, it could be you could be annoyed with me because I'm making you stay here for a long time. Any of that can be discomfort, right? Pain is different. Pain is when your body is physically urging you or saying, this is not feeling quite right. And if your body is giving you a pain awareness, then that's a good opportunity to back off and to do something different. And if you don't know what to do that's different, feel free to just wave me down and ask me. I can give a modification. But if you are okay in this discomfort, just see what's coming up, stick with it for 3, for 2. Good. Okay, on 1, we're going to leave our toes and our feet still as they are and just unwind the arms. You could lift off for a moment, go for it, yeah. And then go the opposite way. So tuck your left arm underneath the right and then high five the hand. So moments in my life where I have experienced discomfort have ended up being some of the greatest transformations and shifts. And an example of that is literally a week ago, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago at this point. I finally accepted and surrendered and made peace with the fact that it was time for me to move away from my home that I had been living in for a year. Like it was the universe just giving me a sign. This is not working. This is not working. And when I finally accepted that and surrendered and accepted the discomfort and made peace with it, that's when this opportunity, this place, this yoga retreat center just kind of popped into my life, and now we're here. Let's take one more round of breath exactly as you are. Nice work. And then just unwind the arms and then take the palms all the way forward. Let's lift off the feet and just pedal out the feet a little bit. So just kind of like massaging, releasing. Yeah, nice work. Good. And then let's do one more thing. So we're going to sit our hips back on our feet. Awesome. Okay, just one more thing. See if you can lift your knees up. And I can lift mine pretty high. If you're like a runner or a walker, we very rarely stretch the fronts of our ankles, so it might feel really difficult. But if you do this over time and over time, you start to build that flexibility and that expansion where it gets more comfortable. Take one more round of breath. Nice. And then come all the way forward. And let's just walk our hands forward. We're going to pause and take a moment in child's pose or balasana. So you can just rest your forehead. Nice. And I forgot to ask at the start of the class. I apologize to the Zoom people because I can't give you any hands-on assists. But for my in real life yogis, if anyone doesn't want to be touched, just let me know and I can just skip you. But if you are okay with being touched, I'll give you a little bit of an assist that's just going to enhance it. Good. Right. Nice. So stay in your child's pose for a few more breaths, just resting in the shape. Just letting your hips be heavy on your heels. Let your forehead be rooted. So I've spent the last 8 years living around the world. And one of the biggest things I've learned is just how to cultivate that sense of home within yourself. Right? How can I help myself come home even when I'm not at home or even when I don't know what home is? Right? Is home Dubai? Is home London? Is home Bali? Is home India? Where is home for me? And once you start to find that home is within yourself, then it can be anywhere. It can be anywhere where you can invite yourself to come back to that stillness, to the breath, to the moment. Stay here for one more inhale. One more exhale. And then we're just going to lift up into a tabletop and tuck the toes, lift up to a down dog. And then from your down dog, just walk the feet up to meet the hands and find a forward fold. Now we're going to hang out here for a few moments if it's comfortable for you. So you can bend the knees a lot and grip opposite elbows and just let your head dangle. Nice, you got it. Perfect. And see if you can let the weight of the world just roll off your shoulders, roll out through the top of your head. Just emptying and releasing. I invite you to just take one more round of breath exactly where you are. And then slowly roll all the way up, vertebrae upon vertebrae, bone upon bone, stacking slowly, slowly, slowly. And then the last thing that lands is your head on top of both shoulders, and you're standing on 2 feet. And it's like you're in Shavasana, but you're in a mountain pose. This is your mountain moment. And with your eyes closed or your gaze soft, just picture you're standing at the top of a mountain and you're seeing in front of you everything that's coming up ahead. You're seeing behind you everything that you've overcome. And just appreciate all the mountains and valleys and everything that you've climbed and overcome and everything that's brought you here, and just be really proud of that. Let's take an inhale. We're going to lift our arms up towards the sky and just look up. We're going to make our way back down towards the earth. So we'll come all the way forward into a forward fold. Take your inhale, halfway lift. And then just exhale, lower down and plant your palms. Step the feet all the way back and find your down dog. And then from your down dog, we're just going to land so you can cross the legs again and then come all the way onto the back. And then just open your arms into cactus. And draw the knees into the chest, and let's drop both knees over to the right and then gaze over the left shoulder. So this is your spinal twist. Nice, you got it. And just allow your gaze to clock over the opposite shoulder. Feel the spinal discs compressing and releasing tension. And just allow the body to find the middle and the mind to find the moment. The body to step into the middle, the mind to step into the moment. And just see if there's wisdom in the middle and wisdom in the present moment. Take one more round of breath, staying exactly where we are. And then just pull the knees all the way up through center. And then I invite you to twist in the opposite way. So you can drop the knees over to the left. And you can open your arms again, cactus or airplane, and gaze over the right. The funny thing is that I think our habits and our words become like so deeply ingrained in us, and we don't even realize it. And one example of that I sometimes think of is that this pose typically is done with the arms outstretched wide, just as you guys have it. But I so often cue cactus with bent elbows, and that's just because when I first started teaching yoga in 2014, I taught in this tiny, tiny crammed studio in a city downtown in Canada, where you couldn't stretch out your arms because you would whack someone in the face. And I'm so used to saying that, even though, many of you are here on Zoom and you have your whole space, your whole room in front of you to stretch out. And we're 3 of us in a yoga shala right now that fits 30. So we have lots of space. So take up all the space that you want. Let your shape be expansive. Let's lift the knees all the way up and just give your body one last little hug. In this hug, acknowledge the fact that you've shown up today for yourself. And you've set this time aside, no matter what else you could have been doing. So just thank yourself for that, because I know how hard that can be. And then as you're ready, slowly stretch out one leg and then the next. You can come into your final resting pose, which is your corpse pose, your shavasana. Over and over again in life, we end and begin. We end and begin. We end and we begin. And our yoga practice is basically an opportunity to practice that. So this is an ending. We allow ourselves to embrace that ending, to make peace with that ending, to close out that ending. And then in a moment, we're going to have an opportunity to begin again. So just let yourself get super grounded and heavy and supported. If you're on Zoom, unfortunately, you won't get any hands-on adjustments or assists, but I am going to walk around and offer a little assist for my in-person students. And then I'm going to bring you back from Shavasana when the time is up. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly. Blackbird fly into the light of dark black night. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Give your fingers and toes a little wake up wiggle. Take a nice big stretch all the way through your body so you can reach through the fingers, reach through the toes. Take your knees into your chest. Give your body a nice hug, squeeze. And then just gently bring yourself all the way up to seated with the palms at the heart center. Do a little inward scan. Notice what, if anything, has shifted in your insides since you started. And if nothing, that's okay too. It doesn't need to be profound or deep or significant. It can just be little steps towards clarity, peace, balance. So we're just developing the muscle to notice. And let's close this practice together with an intention. And this is an ancient intention, but it's the original intention of yoga. And this was passed from the heart of my teacher, Rolf. I'll pass it onwards from my heart to yours. And it's that our practice remain steady. That our efforts remain continuous. That our yoga helps and heals, and it serves and it benefits all beings everywhere. May all beings be safe. May they be happy. May they be healthy. May they be free. May they walk on the path towards freedom each and every day. And let's finish our practice together with an Om sound. This is the sound of everything and the sound of nothing. And we're going to breathe in and breathe out and breathe in to make an Om. So take a big breath in. And then a big breath out. Big breath in. I want to thank you all for being here with me today so much. This is my first class in this new space, and I really appreciate that you have shown up, whether it's physically or virtually. So thank you so much for your support and presence. It means a lot. The light in me, it sees and it honors the light that resides within each one of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. How are you feeling? Good. Good.